And welcome back. Now, of course, we go straight to the newspapers this morning, share with you the major stories making headlines across Nigeria. We're going to be kicking off on the Nation newspapers. We also have joining us this morning, of course, we have someone in Ibadan who's going to be giving us a live report, on what's going on in Ibadan. But let's first of all start with the Nation newspapers. It says there, CBN to crack down on forex violators. NERC okays hiking electricity tariff sector to get 1.6 trillion naira subsidy. Jimo Ibrahim rally support in Davos for Tinubu's policies. Interesting. Edo poll, Ighodalo joins race as LP pegs form at 30 million naira. On the Nation still this morning, Ibadan explosions, 3 dead, 77 injured, 58 houses damaged. And amongst other stories, we also have, of course, how explosive boomed by residents. FEC okays review of law on explosives. Crowdfunding for ransom payment will be worsen kidnapping, says the federal government. We also, of course, have joining us Bernard Akede, who is currently in Oyo State, Ibadan, this morning. Good morning, Bernard.
Good morning, Osaroge. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, loud and clear. It doesn't look very pretty behind you. Give us an update of what the current situation is like over there.
Well, it's first of all, the Harmattan is still here in Ibadan, so it's quite chilly this morning, and it's very quiet and quite cold and extremely dusty. Of course, it's the aftermath of the explosions that we had 2 nights ago. This estate that used to be lively and bubbly is extremely quiet. As at last night when we were here, it was almost like a ghost town. Most residents who still have standing structures have moved their things out, and those whose structures are not strong enough have been coming this morning to take a look at some of the remains of the wreckage of their buildings. We'll zoom in now so you can see some of what's left. This street where I'm standing is where the explosion had happened. The epicenter is somewhere there, but just all along here you'll see almost every building here is no longer habitable, either half destroyed or completely destroyed. Nobody is going to live in here except if the buildings are going to be completely pulled down. The foundations will be tested again to see how strong they still are, and then they'll eventually see if they want to rebuild or not. The same thing happening on this side as well. All the buildings all gone, pretty much gone. Somewhere in the center there where you have the excavators is where the explosion happened. That's the epicenter. There's at least more than 1 meter crater in the ground there where the explosion happened. But I have Olaitan here who's with me. I'd like to bring her on here. Her building was also damaged, and unfortunately she said 2 of her children were also injured in the explosion. Good morning, Olaitan.
Hello, good morning.
First of all, we would like to apologize and share our sympathy with everything that has happened. I spoke to some victims yesterday, and the stories they told me were quite tragic. I'd like you to tell us your experience. Were you here when the explosion happened, and what exactly happened?
Okay, so it was around 7:20 on Tuesday night. I was in the living room. My kids were having dinner. So I have 2 kids, by the way, 2 girls. They were having dinner by the table. So I had renovations going on. So I stood up to go into the bathroom to talk to the tiler. That was when the whole thing started. So I was stuck by the entrance of the room, and like the entrance between the room and the living room. That's where I was stuck with the whole thing coming down on us, the roof, the POP, the ceilings and everything. So it came down. It was a very loud noise. So there's no how you can communicate. There's no how you can hear anything. So it happened for like 10 minutes straight. Like those things, the rubbles were falling down for like 10 minutes straight. Then it was after the whole noise stopped that I was able to like ask for my kids and all that. Thank God for my very efficient house help that I was able to like get both of them, and we were able to, leave immediately because my younger daughter had a cut on her head. The other one had a few scratches. So my whole intention was only our house was demolished. So I had to try to find my car key with the intention of, okay, let's just go in the car. Wherever we can drive to tonight, let's just go there. Only for me to get downstairs and the car was gone as well. So I was like, okay, the next thing is we have to get to the hospital first. So I tried to take my 2 kids to the hospital. We went to Redeemer's Health Center just right beside Ismail. So we got there, they, checked the kids and things like that. One got a few stitches. The other one, they just like cleaned the wound and stuff. So and we left from there to the hotel that we slept that night. So that's what I saw.
All right. Thank you so much, Olaitan. We do hope that your children will get better soon.
Thank you.
Take care. Osaroge Olive, just, to put everything in pictures so that you see what exactly we're talking about. Olaitan said she came down and her car was damaged. I want to show you the car exactly that we're talking about. If you can see clearly, that's the vehicle. It's an SUV. I'm not sure if there's any coming back from this vehicle, actually. We saw it yesterday. You can see from the impact of the explosion, that's somebody's roof hanging on the wire there, up there. I mean, the things I've seen here are nothing short of a war zone, sadly, unfortunately. We do hope that the figures that are coming out, the official figures, are correct and that they do not rise because it's scary from what we've seen here.
Bernard, my heart breaks to see these pictures. I mean, I'm short of words. I don't know what to make of what you are saying to us right now. And our heart goes out to Olaitan and all the other people who have been affected. I mean, we've seen the pictures on social media, but just hearing the stories in real time is quite heart-wrenching. Bernard, there's several stories. We know that the government has, given one account. And there's so many conspiracy theories that have been flying around as to exactly what happened. But you're on ground. From what you've gathered, what really led to this?
Again, like you said, conspiracy theories flying around. Initially, we heard gas explosion, we heard filling station explosion, we heard illegal mining, and then everything was narrowed down to a bomb explosion. From what I've been able to gather and from the information that has reached us, we hear that it wasn't illegal mining, but however, that one of the residents of this place was a miner. The words being used is illegal miner. Whether that's true or not, we don't know, but it was a miner. And we're also hearing that what went off were some of the explosives that this individual used for his mining practice. We do not know yet what kind of explosives went off here. There's some who are saying that from what they see here, it probably could be dynamites. And if that's true, not one, not two, but a few numbers because of the impact of the explosion. But of course, we have to wait for official reports from the authorities. Thanks to officers of the Nigerian Army who were first responders that came here. We spoke to some soldiers yesterday. Of course, they speak off camera, and we hear that there were some of those who helped to move people who were trapped and who were affected, by the explosion. Then the excavators came, tried to clear the rubble and to bring people out from under the rubble. That Tuesday night, honestly, was a very, very dark night for the residents of this estate. It used to be a very bubbly estate and lively. Now, you can hardly hear anything. It's pin drop silence.
Yeah. It's really heartbreaking. We hope that the government's able to properly investigate. We hope that they also have explosives experts, step in to share exactly, what is the very likely cause of that explosion. Really, really painful. Olive?
Yes, I wanted to also ask, Olaitan did mention how she went to the hotel that was made available. I want to ask you, how much support would you say the government has given to the victims of this unfortunate incident? And what are the citizens, the residents, what are they saying in terms of how safe or afraid they are about a repeat of this happening?
Well, the governor did mention in his statement that those who are affected or whose buildings were affected should be granted access to hotels and guest houses nearby, and that the bill will be taken up by the governor, or the government rather, and that hospitals should open their doors to the injured so that they'll be treated, and that also will be taken up by the governor. So at least that for now is some kind of help, at least immediate help. Whatever more compensation that will come, we do not know yet, but we want to believe that the government would look into it. As for the residents here, of course, first of all, many people, as yesterday when we came here, were crying out to the government to please take charge. If this truly is a crime, if what happened here was an illegal activity, then whoever is or are the persons responsible should be brought to book. That's what they're asking for. When we came in earlier, there was a former Inspector General of Police who was here. And Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. A former police commissioner, sorry, who was here yesterday, and he was saying that since it's still a developing story, that people should be careful around here because this is a primary explosion, and they wanted to be certain that there will be no other minor explosions around. So we're all treading softly. But so far, so good. There have been members of the bomb squad, the military, going around checking to see the viability of the ground here and to see, if there's anything else that people should be wary of. And that's why this whole area has been cordoned off. So for now, I want to believe that it's still a bit safe, but of course, there's debris lying all around. So people who are passing here have to be very careful. We're seeing fragments of buildings, pieces of roofs, metal objects, wood, so many things. So treading this area, one needs to be quite careful. And then the residents who were here before are just coming to pick some of their things one by one and leave.
Yeah. Interesting to also see the presence of security agencies there. Thank you very much. Of course, as things develop, we would look forward to hearing from you, Bernard. And like I said before, I hope that there's some truth, to the cause of this very, very sad incident. Thanks very much, Bernard. We'll speak with you soon.
All right. Thank you for having me.